If you could resurrect any single LAN event, be it grassroots local from 20 years ago or something bigger like DreamHack or anything in between, what would it be and why? This is from Trogdor. Good question. Good to see you. You don't always ask questions, mate. Trogdor. What would I bring back? I mean, DreamHack's dead now. They announced that, didn't they? Just yesterday. I'll probably do that on stream tomorrow. But yeah, DreamHack's gone in Jönköping. And while it was a terrible event to travel to and a terrible event to be at, especially if you weren't in the hotel right next to the venue, which fortunately I almost always was, because getting a taxi to and from the venue in the Bible Belt of fucking Sweden is fucking pure AIDS and costs you about €80 for a 15-minute cab. I always had a soft spot for that event. Hanging out at DreamHack with everyone in the VIP area was when I really, I think, fell in love with esports. That must have been about, it was when StarCraft 2 was the big ticket. It would have been 2010, maybe 2011, something like that. And because I knew Robert Olin, he always used to roll out the red carpet for me, and I remember I'm a nobody, I mean, I'm not like a big influencer, I'm not a professional player, I'm just a journalist, but I got the VIP treatment, and as a result, I got to meet many, great people that have made incredible contributions to our industry and form friendships with them, and I got an invite to the Good Studio, and that was a thing because of that. Like, I know it's not the same. It's never been the same since they merged with ESL and ESL took over DreamHack and all that stuff. And well, it was never the same after they kicked Robert Olin out. But I know it's more like a place and time thing. That time in esports was stellar. We just rebuilt after the collapse of CGS. All of we'd had the global recession. Anyone who was left in esports in 2009 was hardcore. They loved it. They loved the space. And then 2010 come along and we started getting cool shit like YouTube and fucking Justin TV and Owned. And then new games, the new generation of esports games coming out, League of Legends, obviously, StarCraft 2. Call of Duty was popping off. CS was kind of in that weird pre-CSGO stage. It was the end of 1.6 and everyone kind of knew it. Rebuilding esports at that time was actually fun. It was fun. And it felt like we were going to be big and it felt like we were going to a good place. It really did. And watching everybody grift for fucking StarCraft 2 was a little bit nauseating. People who'd never watched a game of Brood War in their life suddenly saying, and, some bad things came out of it. It gave birth to the fucking esports diva. That era was insane for that. I couldn't believe it. But in general, everyone at that time there wasn't any esports tourists back then. When I used to sit in those rooms and talk to people, everybody knew everything. And everybody knew everyone. And everybody knew about everyone's projects and everyone's shit. And we all had the same, in-jokes. And we all had the same verbal shorthand. Because we were all doing the same thing. We were all part of the same, community, I guess. And then 2015, 2016, that all starts to change. And unfortunately, we started getting this new grifter class and these dubious investors. Everybody was really trying hard to monopolize the space. Twitch had this weird, fucked up, disproportionate influence, and Riot Games had obviously taken over, and they were doing all this fucked up shit. It wasn't the same world anymore. It was sad. It was sickening. I mean, obviously 2015, I've talked about this before, so this isn't a big reveal or anything. I was thinking about killing myself in 2015. I just, there wasn't really any reason not to. As dark and as fucked up as that sounds, I went through a horrendous breakup. My best friend had hung themselves while I was working an esports event, and had tried to call me, and I went through a really dark fucking time. And I just thought, I'll get to the end of 2015, I'll do these esports events, and then just fucking write a note, record a video, hang myself, whatever. And, had some pretty good friends pull me through that, and then obviously got the E-League job. And so I probably wouldn't have been in esports because, look, even if it was just dark, depressing thoughts about killing myself and I wasn't really going to do it, I was definitely going to quit esports. That was 100%. That had to happen. There was no reason to stay in. And then obviously, like 2015, I get the E-League job. I meet Maria. Lots of things start going right in my life, and it's weird. This is one of the things why I've always been of the perspective. I get a lot of messages from people, and it's like I don't reply to them because you shouldn't be asking me because I'm not an expert on these things. And if you're having a mental health crisis and you reach out, it's like, I want you to get well, but I'm equally not the person you should turn to for advice. I'm a fucking train wreck, right? And I've been in the exact same spot. But one of the things I always believe is, like, you have to hang in. You have to hang. Because you're a long time dead. You are a long time dead. And I get that sometimes life can be inescapably bad for some people. I think if you've got, like if I ever had, like, locked-in syndrome, right? If I ever had, like, locked-in syndrome and, something like that, I'd check out. I'd go to Dignitas. Give me the fucking green drink and I'd do it. I get that. But one of the realities about death is it's just eternal nothingness. And so nothing good. You're essentially writing off the odds that something good or positive can happen to you. And I hate that. I hate that platitude. It can only get better. No. That's not true. It can. Not only does it not have to get better, it can get fucking worse. And that happens to lots of people that go through lives of quiet despair. But it certainly can't get better if you're dead. That's a fact. And I think that that's always my sentiment. You just have to find a way to just fucking roll with the punches, man. Like, you just got to. Life will kick the shit out of you. It's designed to do that, by the way. It's an insane thing that we go through. We're not like, we're the top of the food chain, but we're a mistake. We aren't supposed to be what we are. I've read lots about this. Metzinger, everything he says in the ego tunnel is absolutely on point. Thomas Ligotti as well. Go read him. Consciousness is the problem. Like, if we didn't have this sort of assured sense of a self and a purpose, and we were like the rest of the animal kingdom, we'd be having a great time. I'm pretty sure about it. Like, it wouldn't matter that you're here and you're an organic creature and then you're not, and none of this would matter. But it's like we've created all of these constructs in our mind driven by consciousness to fucking believe these things that are fundamental lies, and it fucks us up. And so we make ourselves miserable a lot of the time because of our fucking shared delusion. And so all of which is, what a fucking mad tangent this is, but all of which is to say that I have a very grounded appreciation now of the finality of death and the way that life is inherently ridiculous and absurd in and of itself. All of these to be born, come online, develop a consciousness, and then have it dropped on you in your adolescence. P.S. You're gonna die. Like, remember when you were a kid, your parents tell you, what's death? Your fucking goldfish dies, or your grandma dies, or someone gets sick and they're going to die, and you get told about it. Whatever the childhood introduction to death is, you lose, a pet, a dog has to get put down. And your parents tell you, yeah, everyone dies. And you go, and then they always add like a caveat. And they go, but not for a long time. Or, but that won't happen to you. And it slowly dawns on you, wait, it is going to happen to me. And then you grow up and you don't think about it too much in your teens. And, well, you do, because you go through an emo phase. And then you're in your 20s. And then you're in your 20s and you go, fucking got loads of time. And this is when you're supposed to find out what you want to do in life. And then you don't. You don't find a purpose and you beat yourself up about it. You get to 27, 28, you're going, shit, I'm still a fucking child. I'm still a boy. I think about what my parents were doing when they were 27. What my granddad did, he was in a fucking war. He saved Earth by by now. And what do? I smoke weed and walk around with cum-stained fucking joggers on, scratching my nuts all day. I'm a loser. And then what you don't realise is that life is fucking different now, and you're not meant to have figured it out. Actually, it's impossible in this new complex society to have it figured out by 20, and you sort of get an idea at 29, 30. This is kind of it now. I'm finished. I'm evolved. This is as evolved as I'm going to get. Whatever I'm committing to now, I'm running out of time. The fucking runway I'm running out of runway. Like, this is it. Like, I've got to land the fucking plane now. This is it. So you land the plane, you land the metaphorical plane, and now you're in your 30s, and you go, actually, 30's not so bad, I don't feel any different. It's just like an extension of your 20s, and people live longer, actually, don't they now? So 30's fine. And then you get to like 34, and that's when it starts, and you go, oh dear, I can't get into them jeans anymore. I don't bounce back. I actually blow up when I have a meal now. I've got hemorrhoids now. I've got all these health problems and my back's fucking killing me. What's going on? Right? And so you realize, shit, mortality. Like, now you're getting bodily changes and you're going bald and you're getting fat. You're not desirable anymore. Nobody fucking looks at you the same way. Not like you did in your 20s when you were fucking svelte, you had abs, right? And you could go out and party and get laid on a fucking weekend. Now you're a chud. And by the way, if you get to 35, 36 and you're not fucking married, being single at that age is sad, guys. I don't mind fucking saying it, right? It is sad. I went through a terrible fucking breakup that I thought was going to work out, and it didn't, and it gets sad. The dating in your 30s is sad. You get on I'm talking, you can't be 35 on Tinder. It's sad. So maybe you go on a website and you think there must be other 35-year-olds out there. Well, let me tell you, if you're a man and you're straight, the pool of women at that age is they're rolling the last chance. They're rolling the dice. Biological clock ticking away. They're in a more sad position than you are. You just want to feel alive again. You just want to have a fucking bunk up. You just want to feel like you did in your 20s. You just want to feel the curious, giddy fucking rush of seducing someone and feeling sexually attractive one last fucking time. But you can't, and by the way, because it's the last dance. It's 10-3. The nightclub's kicking out. And that's where you're at societal-wise right now. So eventually, you'll probably pair up with someone or settle down, or you won't. I don't know what's worse. And then 40 just comes out of nowhere, like a mugger in an alley. Bosh, hits you over the head. 40, well, that's it. I remember when I was 20, I used to think 40-year-olds were old. I had relatives that died. I'm older than them, right? I'm older than them. And so now you're looking back and you're looking at all of the pieces in your life and what you did and what you didn't do. And the 40s, that's just this is the start of the midlife crisis. This is about fucking regret. This phase of your life is about all of the mistakes hitting hard because you live in a reality constructed not from your successes but from your failures. And you have to remember it every single fucking day. And you're reminded of it because these are the places you operate. Now, I ain't got too much perspective on 50s because I'm not 50, contrary to what Rocket League players say. But I've got some insight. I think I think the 50s are probably when you try and convert affluence and status into that one last roll of the dice. 60, mentally, we all know 60 is old. 50, man, George Clooney's in his 50s. Yeah, he's still sexy. He's still got it. That's probably when all the manifestations of the guilt and the regret and the horror and the misery of your 40s manifest into something, I guess, vaguely positive. Sad, because everyone's looking at you and they know it's fake and they know what you're doing. Right? But what I'm looking forward to is 60. I don't want to rush there, but the option is death. The alternative is being dead. It seems at about 65, you have this inherent, it's like you just hit a Zen state. You just hit Zen and you realize, I'll be dead soon. 7 years. It doesn't matter. I can say what I want. I can do what I want. There are no constraints. This was all an illusion. Maybe I did try a bit too hard. And suddenly you start to feel like the little moments matter a bit more. And the things that you prioritize and the things that you treasure, you do more of them. You do more of them. You're retired. Who gives a fuck? Becomes about something else. And then the horror of being infirm, 70, every day could be the last one now. Imagine you're living on your fucking tiptoes in the corner of your fucking eyeballs. And all you really want to do is just have someone there, I imagine. That was always the saddest thing. I had a girlfriend who used to look after the elderly. And they would, she said when sometimes they would die and they would ask for relatives and they didn't get there. And they died with strangers. And that's it. And that's life. It's all a joke. It's all a joke. The best thing you can hope for is a family member being around to hold your hand while you die. And you know what? In that moment, before you take the fucking fractalized DMT trip into deconstructed consciousness, that is death, that'll feel really good. That'll feel better than anything. So there it is. Now, all of which is to say, if I could have any land, if I could have any land brought back, I would definitely go back to that time, because that was the time for me when I was in that 20s phase and I was surrounded by people I admired and looked up to, and who conversely admired and looked up to me. And it felt like there was possibilities. It felt like I hadn't made the mistakes. It felt like I was going to go somewhere with it. And then I didn't in 2015, and then I did again at E-League. And then obviously terrible things happened to me after. So right then and there, being in that DreamHack VIP room with In Control and Too Good and Total Biscuit and Robert Olin and all the fucking, commentators that I got to know down the years, it was great. Like, meeting Anders for the first time, Semler. Everyone was having so much fun back then, Like, everyone was so happy. I look at how depressed and, like, different and mean and bitter that, like esports itself was like a malignant poison that we were all passively absorbing through our fucking skin. It's changed a lot of people in the industry I like. And, some of them I don't talk to. Some of them I still do, but it's like, I know that they're not the same person, that this industry has done things to them and it's changed them. And it's, it's sad. Back then, everyone had a smile on their face. I mean, for real. It was always fun. So yeah, right then and there. It's that glorious moment of a false belief in infinite possibilities before reality intrudes on your positive thoughts. Yeah, okay, great segment. Love that question. Thank you.
I let you off once before, but you still got the nerve to come back.